What's guys? So, full time, Goodison Park. Arsenal 1, Everton 0. Match reaction.
Nightwolf wins. Fatality.
So, it's a game that, Arsenal fans should have looked at, because I know I did. I looked at it as it's only Everton. We should be getting 3 points here. It's just, you know what I mean? You say Everton and Arsenal at Goodison Park, you think, yeah, Arsenal 3 points. That's how it should be. Today, we got our much deserved 3 points. You know what I mean? It's a game where some might look at it and say it's a good 1-0 win because, kept a clean sheet and, those are the kind of goals that win your league titles, mate. But I'm not looking at it as a good win. I'm looking at it as we should be beating these, man. You know what I mean? It's flattering to Everton that we didn't score more than one goal. You know what I mean? It's flattering to them. You know what I mean? So Everton fans can walk away with pride that they didn't get smoked by Arsenal. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even put it down to them just turning up like that. I just put it down to we were just, when it came down to it, we weren't that great when it came to the final third. I mean, we weren't that great, because if we would score more than one goal. Now, we did go goal up in the first half from Martinelli, but it was offside because of Nketiah's ankle. Now, people can debate that all they want. End of the day, you could say we got away with Manu, but our Garnacho was offside, so But and then unfortunately Martinelli went off injured, so hopefully that's something that's just a very, very minor setback. Trossard came on, and he was the one that got us a goal at Goodison Park that landed us our win at Goodison Park since 2017. You know what I mean? Arteta finally gets a win as a manager at Goodison Park. Now, the players for me, I'll start off with the attack. Then I'll work my way to the defense. Martinelli, while he was on, he went on for too long, but he looked sharp and was doing his job. You know what I mean? And he actually put the ball in the back of the net, and unfortunately got injured. So it's not like from what we saw that Martinelli was playing crap or anything. You know what I mean? For me, he did his job. You know what I mean? It's just unfortunate that he got injured. Eddie Nketiah, I rate his work rate because he does try. But in the game, it got to a point where it's like, nah, get him off and get Jesus on. You know what I mean? Because, Nketiah, he's not lazy. He don't just stand there like a pony. You know what I mean? And that's what I like about Nketiah. He is somebody that's going to be annoying. I can imagine for centre backs, Nketiah would be a bit annoying because he just keeps moving and he keeps attacking. There's times where he does attack spaces and then he's not getting the ball fed to him. You know what I mean? I've seen that quite a few times, saw it last season as well. But Nketiah, for me, he did what he could, but he just couldn't get that goal. You know what I mean? He just couldn't put it away, kind of thing. Saka. Now, I said in my match preview, I said if Saka is remotely fit, if he's like 70% fit, right, he's starting. He ain't gonna go on the bench. He's starting. I was proven right, of course. You know what I mean? Because I know this manager too well. We know Saka's like one of the favourites. And I haven't got anything against Saka. Nothing against Saka whatsoever. Right? It's just that my thing is if you've got a player that's carrying an injury, right? Despite the fact that he might be able to play through it, you don't do it. You don't play through it like that. Bench him. I mean, have him come on in games. You know what I mean? He played a full 90 minutes again. So this Achilles injury, an injury that's nothing to play with, that gets worse. It's on the manager. You know what I mean? You say it's on the player as well, because the player could say, look, I don't feel comfortable playing, a full 90 minutes at least while I'm carrying this injury. You know what I mean? But the manager's the one that's like, I'm not going to start you because X, Y, and Z. But Saka, he had an all right game. You know what I mean? He was doing what he usually tries to do and everything like that. You know what I mean? And the only problems I have is that he's starting while carrying this injury and playing a full 90 minutes when he doesn't need to. You know what I mean? Because regardless of if Martinelli got injured or not, you know what I mean? Saka is playing a full 9 minutes. Now, Fabio Vieira, he started the game, and to be honest, when I saw that starting lineup, I thought to myself, these men could put 3, maybe even 4 past Everton. They could. They're on it. I saw Vieira starts, and I was thinking, like, this is where Vieira needs to prove himself. Because he's come on in, 2 games this season? And, he's looked the part. Now you're getting the start. Now you prove that. Today, in my opinion, he didn't prove why he should start. If anything, he proved why he should be a super sub. I mean, for me, he wasn't, he wasn't good enough in my opinion to say, yeah, start him. But at the same time, it's better to start him than Havertz. I mean, it's better to start him than Havertz. So we look at it like that. But Smith Rowe is telling me Smith Rowe can't get no games. You know what I mean? Now, into the centre mid, which is Declan Rice. Rice, for me, again, he did his job. He did what we signed for him to do. He wasn't out of this world or anything like that. He just did his job. You know what I mean? Like, what more can you ask? I mean, the team kept a clean sheet. You know what I mean? Like there was one point where he lost the ball and a player went down on an attack in the first half, which was a bit of a worry. But things like that do end up happening at some point. But at the highest level, you could say it shouldn't be happening as easy as that. You know what I mean? But otherwise, he did his job. You know what I mean? So I haven't got a complaint of him apart from just that moment. Odegaard, he's a star attacking midfielder. You know what I mean? He did his job. I mean, there was a shot that he took in the second half, which was straight at Pickford. Them kind of shots, they should be going in corners, fam, because we know you've got the techers. You know what I mean? But Odegaard, yeah, he had a decent game. You know what I mean? I ain't got no beef with with that. To be honest, I don't have beef with anything players really did today. Not too. I just said the final third. It's just like you should be putting more chances away like that. Zinchenko at left back. He's good when he's in the midfield, right? And to be fair, he wasn't awful or anything like that. But you're not a left back, fam. You know what I mean? He's not a left back. We can clearly see where he's good at. You know what I mean? But fam, at the end of the day, it's Arteta that's putting him there. You know what I mean? Arteta is the one that's putting him there. Gabriel at left back. Basically, the defense did the job. There was one point in the dying minutes later on where Gabriel, activated his bozo gene a little bit, and Everton could have had a chance if they pounced on it. But we ended up clearing it away eventually. You know what I mean? We can't afford any switch offs like that. You know what I mean? We like fam, we can't. You know what I mean? Especially when you're at grounds that we haven't won at for years. Saliba, man like Big Will, my centre half fan. You know what I mean? Man was on job. Man did his job. Ben White did his job. I ain't got no beef with that. Now, as the goalkeeper, we had man like David Raya make his first start for Arsenal, right? And although he didn't have too much to do, a clean sheet is a clean sheet. You know what I mean? I didn't have any problems with David Raya starting this game. I didn't. You know what I mean? It was going to happen at some point. I do think that David Raya has more to prove if he's going to be our number one keeper, because he didn't need to do too much today. You know what I mean? I expect him to start either the next league game, which is Spurs, or maybe either Champions League game we've got during the week, which I think is against PSV. I expect him to start at least one of those two games. You know what I mean? And I think it's a case of, if David Raya starts a game at home, which our next two games are at home anyway, and he keeps a clean sheet, I think that Arteta might look at it and be like, well, I ain't going to ruin that. You know what I mean? David Raya is earned his stripes so far. That's probably how Arteta will see it. So, yeah, I don't really do player ratings like that too much, but, you know, overall for the team, I'll give the team a 6 out of 10. You know what I mean? Because in my opinion, we should be putting Everton. We shouldn't be making it harder than what it is. I don't care if Everton's a tough place to go. These men get spanked, right? Other teams are going to go there this season that aren't as good as Arsenal, and they're going to put 4 past them. It's going to happen. I think Aston Villa did it already. If it was not at Villa Park, it was at Goodison. They spanked them. You know what I mean? Why are we spanking them like that? You know what I mean? But a win is a win. And, you know, end of the day, 3 points is 3 points. That's, you know, so far we're 4th in the table, joint second with Liverpool and Spurs. So yeah, onwards to the next one. But yeah, Trossard. Can't forget the super subs. Can't forget about substitutes. Trossard, you know, he came on and he showed Arteta, look, fam, like, this is what I contribute to the team. I'm gonna help you, man. Give me chance, fam. And he got his chance off the back of Martinelli being unfortunately injured. You know what I mean? So Martinelli put the ball on the back of the net, but he was ruled off. And his replacement also puts the ball on the back of the net to win us the game. What more does Trossard have to do? You know what I mean? He's the reason we won the Community Shield. He gets a start against, was it Fulham? Then he gets taken off at half time, which I think was just disrespectful in my opinion, unless Trossard felt something. And he was like, nah, fam. But this game, Trossard came on and he was like, yep, this is why I should start, fam. You know what I mean? You could tell, even when he scored in the Community Shield, right? You could just see it in him. He's like, fam, this is why I should start. I'm fighting for my place. You know what I mean? And to be honest, that's the kind of fight that we need at this club. You know what I mean? That's the kind of fight. Jesus came on, and to be honest, when he came on, I felt more comfortable in terms of the ball getting to him. There was a point where the ball, you know, got launched to him. You know, he took a touch on his chest, and as the ball bounced down, it came off his side. And I thought it was going to be the third goal against Man U part 2. You know what I mean? I thought it was going to be something like that, because man was about to look at it like,
that is another one.
But it didn't happen. But, you know, Jesus being a sub like that, I wouldn't even really say it's a bad thing. I mean, it kind of, I'm looking at it like, if Nketiah keeps bagging goals, Jesus is going to be staying on the bench a bit longer. And then to have that quality to bring on, you know what I mean? This is what I mean. And I don't mind it. If Nketiah is scoring often enough, I don't mind him being the number one striker right now, knowing Jesus is on the bench that can come off. And then he can contribute. Don't mind that. I mean, but if he's not scoring, but the player that will come on is more likely to score, then I'm going to want that player to be starting games. You know what I mean? Tomiyasu came on. To be fair, Tomiyasu hasn't looked out of place, to be fair. especially since coming back from that injury. He's came in and when he's come on, he's been doing his job. You know what I mean? Again, no complaints there. I can't remember who else came on. Let me just double check. Who else came on in the game? Oh yeah, Kai Havertz came on, and yeah, Kai Havertz, he kind of. I think Kai Havertz would be better as a sub, in my opinion. I just got this feeling. I was feeling that if Kai Havertz just watches us play, and then when he comes on, he knows what he's getting himself into. But when he starts, I think it's a bit of a different story. That's my personal opinion. You know what I mean? He came on for Vieira. To be honest, Vieira wasn't special today. He didn't show why he should start. Like, for example, when he came on as a super sub, and was effective, it was like, okay, you know what I mean? Maybe this guy can start. But what he's shown, at least in this game, was, I think maybe being a super sub. But at the same time, it's better to start him than to start Havertz, in my opinion. I mean, that's just the way I see it. It's better to start him than start Kai Havertz. So, yeah, 3 points on the board. Next game is, I think it's PSV. Yeah, PSV at the Emirates on the 20th of this month. And then next league fixture is Spurs at the Emirates Stadium. And Spurs fans have been getting a bit too cocky. And it's like Spurs fans just don't learn, do they? How many times have they been in this kind of situation where they've started off the season good, the dispatching teams, and then they come Emirates and then they get beat? How many times have we seen that? But you never know. This Spurs might be different now under Ange Postecoglou, whatever his name, however you pronounce his name. It might be a different story now. You know what I mean? Maybe Spurs might have turned over a new leaf. Maybe they might be able to get one over, whether it's a win or a draw at the Emirates. Maybe. Don't know. But Arsenal being Arsenal and Spurs being Spurs, they'll come Emirates and they'll lose to Arsenal. And then that'll be their humbling. But we'll have to see. Anyways, that's it for this match reaction. Yeah, onwards and upwards to the next one. Champions League football next. This everything that this fan base has been excited about. You know what I mean? I want us to go and win it, but let's see. Anyways, like the video, share the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, follow all the socials. Links are in the description. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. 3 points on the board, fam. Let's get it.